You're listening to the AI Ireland podcast. My name is Mark Kelly, the founder of AI Ireland. If you're new to the podcast, AI Ireland's mission is to accelerate the use of AI for the benefit of our society, our competitiveness, and everyone living in Ireland. To achieve this, we run projects of national interest, most notably the Artificial Intelligence Awards, which are occurring on the 23rd of November 2022. We wanted to contribute to a culture of sharing, cooperation, and action in the Irish AI ecosystem. I'd like to say a special thank you to our sponsors and principal sponsor Microsoft for their continued support for the Artificial Intelligence Award. Hope you enjoyed the show today, and if you have any recommendations for future guests, please reach out to mark@aiawards.ie. Now on to the show. Hello everybody, it's Mark Kelly here from AI Ireland. Hope you are doing really well today. And in the run-up to the Artificial Intelligence Awards, I've had the pleasure of speaking to Dr. Florian Ostmann. Dr. Florian is Head of AI Governance and Regulatory Innovation at the Alan Turing Institute. And we've had the opportunity to speak to Dr. Florian as he is on a visit over to Ireland and meeting some people to share some of the key messages and some of the research that he's doing in the UK. Dr. Florian, very good to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Would you mind telling us a little bit about your role day to day within the UK and some of the type of research that you're involved in?
Yes, absolutely. Maybe I'll start by saying a few words about the Alan Turing Institute for those listeners who may not have heard about the Institute before. So the Alan Turing Institute is the UK's National Institute for Data Science and AI. We are based in London. That's where I am based and my team is based. But we rely and essentially consist of a network of universities that has grown over time. We currently have 13 partner universities across the UK. So we have a large number of researchers situated at those universities. So in many ways, the Turing is a hub, a connector of academic data science and AI expertise across the university landscape in the UK. But that's only one part of the mission. On the other hand, the Turing Institute also plays the role of acting as a bridge between the academic research community and the non-academic world, as it were. So that includes connecting academic research to industry and translating research into commercial applications through strategic partnerships with partners in the private sector. But it also includes acting as a bridge to government and working with government, advising government around issues of AI. And sort of that's where my work is situated, the connection to government. So the Turing Institute is divided into different research programs, and I'm a member of the public policy program within the Institute. The public policy program's mission is to think about the implications of AI for government. And that includes, on the one hand, thinking about how government can use AI for its own purposes, to improve policymaking, to improve the delivery of public services. But it also includes thinking about the governance of AI technology, so the role that government should play in regulating AI, and then also thinking about non-regulatory measures of governing AI and ensuring that AI is developed and used responsibly. One important aspect of sort of the non-regulatory governance side are standards and our work on standards for AI, and I may say a bit more about that later on. But maybe I'll just say a few words about why I think this is such a fascinating area to work in, and the governance of AI has been a rapidly evolving field over the last few years, as I'm sure many of your listeners are well aware. Anyone working in the space is aware of the regulatory initiatives that are ongoing, such as the EU's AI Act, and the many ethical and regulatory questions that AI tools raise. And so one project that I've been involved in over the last couple of years has focused on the use of AI in financial services. We worked very closely with the Financial Conduct Authority, which is the UK's conduct regulator for financial institutions, to write a report about the implications and the questions that AI raises in financial services from an ethical and regulatory perspective. And one thing that's been fascinating about that is the wide range of different use cases that exist within financial services, and then the different kinds of regulatory questions that each use case raises, and sort of the diversity of these questions is really, it's one of the things that are fascinating.
And by bringing so many different people into the conversation, you start to understand the problems that need to be solved from a variety of different ways. And these are fundamental challenges that everybody needs to be aware of, because as the technology becomes more and more innovative, it's going at a very, very quick speed. Regulation can sometimes lag behind, and we want to make sure that we actually have trust and privacy at the foundation of everything we do, because if we don't trust or we don't quite understand how the decisions are being made by the technology, it's very, very hard to replicate this in a way people feel consistent with it as well. So thank you very much for that overview. So you've been over in Ireland, meeting a variety of different people for your short stay. Tell us a little bit about your visit so far, and how do you think the UK and Ireland can collaborate on the development of AI technologies that can benefit society?
Yeah, so it's been a short visit. Unfortunately, I didn't have that much time, but I arrived on Tuesday evening and then spent most of yesterday in various meetings and visits, which was fascinating. So it was the first time that I visited Ireland in sort of a work-related capacity. I'm really impressed by sort of what I got to see, which in many ways I'm sure was only the surface, and I'm very much looking forward to following up on various of the connections that we've been able to make. We did have various conversations. The visit was organized by the UK, the British Embassy, so we had some internal meetings there to discuss collaboration, with the embassy going forward. We then had a visit at the Adapt Research Centre at the Dublin City University campus, which was very impressive. In many ways, the Adapt Research Center, I think, performs functions that are very similar to the Turing's mission in terms of acting as a hub, bringing together expertise across different areas of AI research, and including on the governance side. So, like the Turing, the center combines technical research, but also a significant amount of work thinking about governance and ethical societal aspects. It also includes a significant amount of work on standards related to AI that's happening at Adapt. And that is another aspect that will be relevant to our work at Turing. And so as I said, in many ways it was the beginning of a conversation, but there will be a lot of connections that I'm looking forward to exploring going forward. And then we had a dinner in the evening hosted by the British ambassador, which brought together quite a wide range of representatives from across the academic sector, the private sector, working on AI in Ireland. That was another fascinating opportunity to exchange ideas. We had very good discussions around the direction of AI governance and policymaking from a comparative perspective, thinking about EU developments, thinking about the UK government's approach as it evolves, and then more concretely looking at possible areas of collaboration.
Yeah, I think strengthening those ties and those introductory meetings can be so important, particularly in person as well, which really helps building those relationships as well. Tell us a little bit about the AI Standards Hub. I know it's a government-backed scheme in the UK, but you're really looking for collaboration from everyone.
Yes, so the AI Standards Hub is a newly launched initiative. It's just about a month ago, actually, that we launched. There is a website for it, aistandardshub.org. So any listeners interested in it, would be delighted to, if you took a look at the website. It's an interactive website with the ability to sign up for a user account and to engage online. Very much hope that we'll grow that community over time in an international way. So it's a UK initiative, but it will very much keen to use it as a platform for international collaboration. So the platform is really open to anyone who's interested in the topic. Now, what is the topic? So AI standards are an important topic, increasingly important topic for AI governance. When we say standards in this context, what we mean are standards developed by formally recognized standards development organizations. So many may be familiar with ISO as an organization, ISO standards, or IEEE as a standard setting organization. So these are standards that play an important role historically in many areas of technology, or many areas of life. Paper sizes are standards. The shape of power plugs is standardized. Safety of electrical devices is subject to standards. So standards in many ways permeate many areas of life. And increasingly, there is work in those organizations to develop standards for AI technologies. And there's an important recognition, I think, around the world, including in the UK government's thinking on AI governance, on the role that standards can play. So on the one hand, standards can play an important role as tools for governing AI, for example, ensuring that there's appropriate risk management in place, but they can also play a really important role for advancing innovation in terms of enabling knowledge sharing, knowledge transfer, and enabling international trade, for example, and market access. Now, there has almost been an explosion of work on AI-related standards across a wide range of different standards development organizations around the world in recent years. And as a result, it's become quite difficult already now for stakeholders to keep track of what standards are being developed, what standards are relevant to a particular context. For example, if I'm a startup developing AI for healthcare, which are the standards that I should be interested in and following more closely. We also know that not all stakeholder groups whose interests will be affected by standards are equally well represented in their development traditionally. So particular groups that tend to find it difficult to participate actively in the development of standards are, for example, SMEs and startups, also civil society organizations, consumer groups, and sometimes regulators. And at the core of the mission of the AI Standards Hub is the recognition that in order for standards to fulfill their role effectively and to be adequate and trustworthy, it's important that all of these stakeholder groups have their say and are actively involved in the development of standards. So in many ways, what the Standards Hub is trying to do is to provide a platform, provide a forum for conversations that empower stakeholders to become actively involved in the field of AI standardization through a combination of community building, training. Our website provides a number of e-learning materials that helps users to understand how standards are being developed, and then strategic research to identify what areas of standardization are important, what gaps remain in comparison to standards that are already being developed, what are priority areas. And the strategic research angle, is among the angles where international collaboration is very important, because we know that in order for standard development to advance successfully, there is a need for international alignment. So we are very interested, in, among other things, collaborating around, developing shared views across countries, say between the UK and Ireland, around what types of standards are needed, what's currently missing, how gaps should be addressed, and so on.
There's quite a lot to go as you said, because a lot of people are taking the initiative to roll out the standard, come up with different ideas. You've got the AI EU Act that are driving across, and there's so many different stakeholders' perspectives trying to put it into practice and put it into effect. So having some benchmarks to work through, it just allows people to feel a lot more at ease. We understand now there's a real appetite for this, because there's case studies adding significant value now from how machine learning can be applied. We're already seeing that with our own AI awards this year, but it's trying to make sure that at the foundation of everything that's been done, there's a certain practices and value system that's adhered to, because for AI to scale and to be managed for the long term, people have to trust it and feel like the process has been worked on accordingly, and privacy is at the foundation of everything that's being done. So that website you mentioned with the e-learning materials and people being able to give their input and bring different people together, sounds like a really, really good tool to allow that conversation to continue and come out with a framework for people to use.
Yeah, and you mentioned the importance of trust and trustworthiness, and precisely for that reason, we have decided that the initial focus of the hub's work will be on a thematic area that we have defined as trustworthy AI. What we'll be doing there initially is to think about trustworthy AI at the horizontal level, in the sense of taking a cross-sectoral perspective, in the same way in which a lot of standards currently under development take that cross-sectoral perspective. But it is also clear that over time, as the standardization field advances, there will be an important role for vertical standards, focused on the use of AI in particular sectors. And so those vertical perspectives are perspectives that we will be looking to add over time. On the trustworthy AI side, maybe worth mentioning very briefly, within that trustworthy AI theme, there are 3 particular topics that we will be focusing on over the next 6 months. So anyone interested in those topics, may be particularly interested to follow our events. So the first topic is explainability and transparency. The second topic is safety, security, and resilience. And the third topic is quantifying uncertainty in machine learning systems. And so for each of those topic areas, we'll very soon announce a series of webinars, workshops, also online forum discussions, to bring the community together to consider what is needed and how standards can help address those issues.
That sounds like a really cohesive effort to look at those 3 areas in distinct focus. So it's really, really beneficial for people to find out more about that. And what I'll do is on the podcast episode, on the link, will be more details about how to actually get in touch with that as well. You've been listening to the AI Ireland podcast. I'm the host and founder, Mark Kelly. Today I've been chatting with Dr. Florian Ostmann. Dr. Florian is head of AI governance and regulatory innovation at the Alan Turing Institute, and he's been telling us a little about his visit to Ireland, building relationships with the ecosystem here, and we'll talk about how the UK and Ireland can build, collaborate, and work on AI technologies that can benefit society. And we finally chatted a little bit about AI Standards Hub and the initiative that the UK are driving across the water, but how they're also opening it up to a variety of different people to come together and offer their opinions and advice, and how you can leverage some of the tools that they're making available on the website. Dr. Florian, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Membership of AI Ireland places your organisation at the centre of the fastest growing technology sector in the world today. As a member, you'll have access to our diverse and highly engaged professional community, which is committed to driving artificial intelligence forward in Ireland. Membership of AI Ireland is for any organisation employing data and analytics. We offer memberships to corporate, government and SME organisations. Interested to find out more? Contact Mark at AIawards.ie.